Hey, welcome back, Veteran Nation fans. And today is my picks for college football today, October 25th. I'm going to try to get these out before the games start so you guys can look. Um, so, first off, we're going to start with Kansas State versus Kansas. Kansas State has kind of had the upper hand of this. Of this rivalry in recent years, but now Kansas is looking to be a much better team than what they've been in past years. So it's an even game. There's no lines. I'm going to take Kansas straight up. Next one, Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. Now, Ole Miss has shot up in the rankings. Oklahoma's kind of been there for a while, but Oklahoma, they're in and out every year. Ole Miss, they've got one really good win, but beyond that, I don't know if they can get up for the big game. So I would take Oklahoma again. There's no lines on that one. It's just straight up. I'm taking Oklahoma. We got Memphis and South Florida. Memphis is favored by 3.5 points, or I'm sorry, South Florida is favored by 3.5 points. So I think both are really good teams. This could go either way. I would just take Memphis just because of the points. I think Memphis has a shot to win straight up. I think South Florida could easily dominate a lot of this game. So that one I could see going either way. That's why I'm going with Memphis, all because of the points. Purdue, 1.5 point favor over Rutgers. Again, it's another one of those, like this one could go either way. It's at Purdue. Purdue does have a pretty solid team. It all is going to depend on can Rutgers get up to play, and I don't think they can do that on the road. So I'm going to take Purdue. I am going to give up the points. Um, I, I think it's going to be a 3 point game, whichever way it goes. So the points are kind of meaningless at this point. You're just giving up the points for a little bit better odds. But really, as I'm looking at the odds, it's not much. If you bet $10 on it, you're going to win 6 more cents. Let's see. Bowling Green versus Kent State. So this is a MAC game, MAC rivalry. Bowling Green is giving 7 up points. They're going to Kent. I think this is going to be a really tough one for Bowling Green, but I am going to go with Bowling Green over Kent State. Kent kind of had some hiccups earlier in the year, but we'll see. Ohio versus Eastern Michigan. Ohio is favored by 11.5 points. They're playing at Eastern Michigan. I went to Eastern Michigan, graduated from there. But Ohio just has a really good team. They're the only team all year that got two interceptions against Ohio State. So they are a team that can play. And I just don't think Eastern Michigan has the team to compete with them this year. So I'm going to give up those 11.5 points with Ohio. I think they win by over 2 touchdowns. Then we have UCLA, Indiana. Uh, Indiana is clearly favored in this. They're giving up 26.5 points, which is a lot of points. But everyone's high on Indiana right now. And I am as well. I am as well. I think Indiana has been doing a lot of great things. So I think I'm going to stick with Indiana on this. Uh, Virginia at North Carolina. Virginia is favored by 10.5 points. North Carolina has been struggling with Bill Belichick. I don't know why people expected him to like come in and like just turn a program around. Like yeah, college is much different than the NFL, and Bill Belichick is a great coach. However, when you come into college football, you just can't win. You can't do that in the NFL. You have to get everyone on board with your system, not just players, coaches as well, because some coaches they'll have an outlook about your system that you might not agree with you. So you kind of have to work those things out. It's rare sometimes, unless you're bringing in a lot of people that you already know and work with. It's rare for a coaching staff to gel right off the bat, especially on the college level. And then you have to get in. You got to get in good recruits. He did do a lot with JUCO transfers, which is a big thing. but to expect them to just turn around like year one, that doesn't always happen. I'm People now want to fire him, and it's like, you got to give him a chance to build something. I think they are going to build something in North Carolina, but right now Virginia is hot. Virginia's got a coach who's been building stuff for a couple years. North Carolina wants to be where Virginia is now, and it's going to take them about 2 years to get there. But I like both teams. I like where they're going. I've been to many, many Virginia games. I'm thinking Virginia actually wins. They don't play well on the road, but I think they just have everything hopping for them right now. So I'm going to take Virginia over North Carolina. I am going to give up the 10.5 points. Old Dominion over Appalachian State. So ODU, another Virginia team. Uh, they are favored over Appalachian State. They've been having a really good year. Uh, I don't think they win by 13.5, though. I think Appalachian State's they're a team that traditionally will play you tough. Uh, and they're at ODU, which does give a little bit of a benefit to ODU playing there in Richmond. But yeah, I think Appalachian State gets the win there. Wake Forest and SMU. The ACC is just it it's really moving into becoming a powerhouse conference, like on par with SEC and Big Ten. They're just putting a lot of small things together, getting their smaller teams up. And Wake Forest is one of these. Georgia Tech, Virginia, like there's just a lot of really good teams that traditionally aren't very good who are playing really tough in the ACC. I would expect the ACC to be a lot bigger in the next couple of years. But SMU is predicted by 3.5. This is one of those I could go either way. I'll probably take SMU with the 3.5 points, make it a touchdown game. But if Wake Forest pulled off the upset, I would not be mad or upset. I would actually kind of expect it in some ways. Syracuse, Georgia Tech. Syracuse again, much improved team over previous years. They were that team that was traditionally good out of the ACC, and one of the few New England teams that was traditionally good. But they've fallen on some hard times in the last decade. But they're a much better team this year. But Georgia Tech they're just playing really well. Have been since the start of the year. They're favored by 16.5. I'm taking Georgia Tech 16.5 and giving up 16.5 points. I know that's a lot, but I just have a lot of faith in Georgia Tech, and they're at home, playing there in Atlanta. Nebraska, Northwestern. Nebraska is favored by 7.5. Northwestern is just having a rough year. Nebraska is just that team that just can't seem to put it all together. Hopefully they, now that we've gotten through the first half of the year, maybe they'll start putting things together. But I would not take Northwestern straight up. I think Nebraska wins. Whether or not I would probably take Northwestern with the points because I don't think Nebraska will win by 8 points. They're giving up 7.5. I think Nebraska wins, but I think it's going to be closer than 7.5. Auburn at Arkansas. These two programs, they're the two that it's like they're right there to be good. They're right there, and they just can't get over that hump. Arkansas is favored by 2.5. I'm going to probably take Auburn straight up. Here they're giving up 2.5 points. A little bit better odds take them straight up. So I would probably take the points and just bet a little bit more money. That's the way I would do it. Akron at Buffalo. Akron, I got a little bit of egg on my face picking them last week. Buffalo is favored by 9.5. I think I'm going to go Buffalo. Again, I don't know if this is one of those games where Buffalo can cover. I would actually take the risk. It's called gambling for a reason, so I would take Buffalo. Utah State and New Mexico. Two good teams who are just trying to put things all together. New Mexico's favored by 2.5. Again, you could go either way on this. I'd probably give up the 2.5. Just as I'm looking at the odds, you just get a little bit better of a payout. So I would probably take New Mexico, give up the 2.5 points, hope they win by field goal, which is very reasonable. UConn at Rice. UConn is favored by 10.5. Oh my God, I I hate this game. Not because of the teams. Well, like the two teams, I have respect for each team. Uh, I just hate this matchup, and I hate the points. I think this is going to be way closer. I would probably take Rice and those 10.5 points. I think it's going to be a closer game. Um, Minnesota at Iowa. Iowa is favored by 8.5. Minnesota is playing some damn good football right now. They did not play bad against Ohio State. They were playing Ohio State, okay? And then they had a big win last week. Their PJ Fleck, he just has a way of just getting players and teams to perform that shouldn't perform at that level. And Kirk Ferentz, he's a great coach. He always brings his team ready to play. They are at Iowa. They are at Iowa. But I think this is an upset in the making. I would probably take Minnesota straight up. Those are the best odds I can see. But someone taking the 9 points, I could see that as well. I don't think Iowa's going to win by 8.5. I think if Iowa wins, I would not be surprised if this is an overtime game. And when you get overtime game, you're looking at a 6-point game, a 3-point game. Those are the more odds. So that's my real prediction for that game. That'll be an overtime game. That's what I'm predicting. Bold, I know. It's called gambling for a reason. Tulsa or Temple at Tulsa. Temple is favored by 4.5 points. I think Temple can actually beat Tulsa by a little bit more. Not easy to travel to Oklahoma and play. In any team, any sport, Temple's not exactly the team that travels well, but I think they might shock us. I got a feeling. It's not based off anything. It's just a feeling. Missouri at Vandy. Vandy is right now playing their best football. They're what do they have? One loss, first time since like 1953, and they're ranked in the top 10 or top 15, first time since like 1947. If you can't get on board with Vandy at this point, I don't know what else you need. Like I was not a believer in Vandy. I am now. And Missouri's going to Vandy, and it's going to be a sold out crowd. Like people there are excited for their football, and maybe this is a new era of SEC Vandy football. Western Michigan at Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio is favored by 2. These are 2 traditional great teams in the MAC. They always play tough. It could go either way. As I'm looking at the odds, I would probably take Western Michigan straight up. There's just better odds there. So yeah, like that one I would probably on this game, if I were really betting on this, I'm looking at the over under, and it's over 40.5, under 41.5. So you're betting, if you bet the over, you're betting that the combined score of the team is going to be over 40, or if you're betting the under, it's going to be under 41. I'll tell you, I'm taking over 40 every single day. These two teams, the chances of these two teams scoring 20 points are very, very good. This is a toss-up. I would probably take Western Michigan straight up, just because I like the type of football they've been playing. But on this game, I would bet the over-under, and I'm taking the over every day of the week. Every day of the week. And I would probably put a lot more money on the over on that. This is Skipper's. I don't ever say surefire stuff, but as close as I can get to surefire without it actually being sure, yeah. FAU versus Navy. Navy is predicted by 14.5. FAU's they've struggled a little bit, and they're playing at Navy. I'm taking Navy, and I am giving up the points. NC State versus Pitt. Pitt has looked pretty good the last couple weeks. They've been, they haven't put it all together, but they're looking good. So I'm giving up the points. NC State it's a struggling team. They're only favored by 6, but I think Pitt's got the team to do it. UL Monroe versus Southern Miss. Southern Miss is favored by 13.5. I don't have a lot of confidence in this game. I this is a game I like. If you showed me all these, this is one of those that I probably would just not bet on. I would, if you forced me to, I'd probably take Southern Miss. Toledo at Washington State. Um, I love Toledo. I worked for the team there, went to school there for 4 years. Um, I, they're at Washington State. This is going to be a tough game. It's Toledo's favored by 1.5, and I think that's very appropriate. I want Toledo to win. I would not bet on this because of my emotional connection to Toledo. I rarely, unless if I'm sure, I rarely bet on teams because it clouds your judgment. But I think this is an appropriate pick for either team. 50-50, 50-50. I can see either, or I will not be betting on it though. Ball State at Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, traditionally a tough team, struggling this year. They're favored by 6 over Ball State. I think that's fair. Uh, but if you told me you were taking Ball State with the points, I would be solid with that too. I would bet on Northern Illinois. Could I be wrong? Yeah, but they're playing at Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, it's Ball State is not a traditional team. Northern Illinois is. They've been here before. That's why I'm taking them. BYU at Iowa State. Iowa State is favored by 2.5. Dude, I'm taking BYU. That's my upset. Like, I can't believe Iowa. Like, yeah, it's 2.5 points. It's not a lot. Really, I think the spread. I probably think the spread should be +1 to BYU. This is one that I can see going into going into overtime. And if it goes into overtime, then I'm heavily taking BYU. That's why I'm thinking BYU. UMass at Central Michigan. Central Michigan favored by 15.5. That's a lot of points, but it's UMass. UMass is not a traditionally good team. They struggle at football, and they're playing at Central Michigan. That is the coldest stadium I have ever been to, up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. It is cold up there this time of year. The wind blows through. UMass, they're a northern team as well. They're used to the cold, but I hated playing in Mount Pleasant. I hated it. And Central Michigan, traditionally a good team. The Chippewas are traditionally good. I think Central Michigan. Alabama at South Carolina. Alabama is favored by 11. Honestly, I know everybody's high on Alabama right now. I have not been that impressed with them. I really haven't. They've gotten wins. They have absolutely gotten wins, and they fought for them. But for a top 10 team, they're not winning impressively, and that always makes them prime for a spoiler. However, it's South Carolina. I don't think South Carolina is going to do that. I would take Alabama straight up. Whether or not they win by over 11, that's going to be tough. I'll take Alabama straight up. I think they win by 10. So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to bet the line, but I would take Alabama straight up. Illinois at Washington. Illinois, they're playing good football. They got dominated by Ohio State. I did watch that game through and through. They played well last week. Washington, also a good team. Washington lost to Michigan. And really, the thing is, that was a much closer game. Michigan got late turnovers that really spread about that game. And I absolutely love Washington's quarterback. I think he's got a lot of really good. I think he's got lot of really good skills. He's a smart quarterback. When he was playing Ohio State, I was like, this is the two smartest quarterbacks I've seen all year. They're not the two most skilled quarterbacks, but definitely the smartest. They protect the football as much as they can. They go for the high percentage plays rather than the big play, which, I always like that in a quarterback, because when you're doing that all game long, you're gonna eventually like spread out the things. When you have those quarterbacks with the big play, you have a bigger chance of, it's going to be a closer game, and you need the big play. I don't think with with Washington's quarterback, he's just a smart guy. I think he makes smart plays. I'll give this up. Michigan's got a tough defense. I think it's their offense that's lacking. So I don't see Illinois' defense as tough as Michigan's. I think Washington, they're giving up 3.5 points. I think they win by over 7. So I'm taking Washington. San Diego State, Fresno State, not a whole, that's kind of a either or. San Diego State's favored by 3. I would probably take them. I could see Fresno State winning. It's a coin flip game. Again, that's another one where I'm probably going to look at the over under. The over under is 46.5. That's a tougher one to pick. I would probably still take the over with those two teams, but it's a coin flip for the two teams. Baylor at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's given up 3.5. Hands down, I'm going Cincinnati. They've been traditionally good the last 20 years. They're still there. They're still fighting. They've gone through 3 coaches have gone on to much bigger things, and they're still there as a top team. Yeah, I think Cincinnati. Baylor could do an upset, but I think if you play this game 10 times, Cincinnati comes out ahead 10 times. Whether or not they come out ahead by over 3.5, that'll be a question. Um, Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is picked by 37.5. Only question is, can they win by that much? I think they can. I take the 37.5. Or I would take Texas Tech straight up in a parlay with another game. Texas and Mississippi State. Texas is favored by 7.5. Finally, Texas seems to be clicking. And I said this about Arch Manning. I said, he's a freshman. He had a lot of pressure. A lot of people were talking about his skills, and the skills are there. He's got to get comfortable. And I think Texas is starting to realize they wanted him as a pocket passer, much like Peyton Manning was. And he's not a pocket passer. He is an option quarterback, and a good one. Use him as an option quarterback. Run the Wildcat. He's going to be great at it. And I think they're starting to figure that out. They're starting to do that with more of their stuff. So I take Texas. I give up the points over Mississippi State. Mississippi State can bring all their cowbells all they want. I think that's BS that they're allowed to do that. I think there should be like a size limitation, because then that won't be as loud. But yeah, I think Texas wins. TCU at West Virginia. West Virginia's been struggling the last couple weeks. TCU's been looking really good. They're favored by 16.5. I think that's a bit much, but I still would probably take the points, 16.5. I would be much more comfortable if it was 13.5. Arkansas State, Georgia Southern. It's a coin flip right there. It is a coin flip, and the spread's only 1.5. Take whoever you want, with or without the points. Troy or Louisiana at Troy. Troy's favored by 8.5. I could see that. They're either great or not. Rarely are they in the middle. They're playing Louisiana. I think I give it to Troy. Stanford at Miami. Miami favored by 29.5. I would go Miami. Stanford's got a rough year this year. Wisconsin at Oklahoma. Okay, this could be a spoiler. Now, Oklahoma is playing great. They lost to Indiana, but like everyone made a big deal about that. Like, and now, what was the shocker was people didn't realize Indiana was that good, and they proved themselves. But Oregon is not bad. Here they're favored by 31.5. I don't think they'll win by that much. I think they'll win. I think, I could see them winning by 28, 24, still winning handily. If you take Washington and you get, thank you for the points, I think Oregon's going to win. But a lot of people who took Washington with the points are going to win. Texas A&M at LSU, 50-50 game. LSU, I think they have the same problem they've always had: discipline problems. They get stupid penalties at dumb times. That's the only edge I see when I look at them straight up. Texas A&M is favored by 2.5. I probably take that, thinking that they're going to win by 3. I can see LSU getting some dumb penalties at dumb times for Texas A&M to win. And it's a real shame, because I actually think LSU is slightly better team. Slightly better. Colorado State at Wyoming. Wyoming is favored by 4.5. I think that one's a fair pick. Neither of those teams I find that impressive. Boston College at Louisville. Louisville is favored by 25.5. That's more about Boston College than it is about Louisville, but they're playing at Louisville. I'm good with that. Um, Michigan favored by 14 over Michigan State. People forget this is a rivalry game. This is a rivalry game. And I'll tell you this, Michigan has been focused on Ohio State. This is prime upset alert. Uh, like Michigan State has stunned Michigan before in years like this. And again, I think Michigan has one of the best defenses. I just think it's their offense that's questionable, and I don't think it's I don't think it's Underwood. I think he's got good skills. I think he's a freshman. He makes freshman mistakes. I think he's going to be a great quarterback going forward. I would, if I were Ohio State or Michigan State, I would be scared of Michigan in the future because of him. Um, the only thing is, much like Archie Manning, he's been very highly hyped, and he doesn't really seem to want to be there. So I think this is an upset. A very high potential upset. I would probably take Michigan State with the points. But yeah, I think this is upset territory. And, you know, I think Michigan, if they win, it's because their defense got turnovers, just the same way they beat Washington. If they get those turnovers, they will win the game. But I don't think it's Michigan's offense that really does it. In Michigan State, they've got some significant holes that can absolutely be exploited. But are they going to come to play in a rivalry game? That's where it is. It's a rivalry game. I think Michigan State does come to play. Tennessee at Kentucky. Tennessee favored by 7.5. I think that's fair. I think they'll actually win by 10. Houston at Arizona State. Arizona State is favored by 7. Yeah, okay. I'll probably take that. I could see them being upset, though. Colorado at Utah. Utah, this is not the Colorado of last year where they were scrappy and could win games without a lot of finesse. I think Utah absolutely has the finesse. I think they're waiting for just that last push to push them into a much better bracket of teams. So I think Utah wins. Boise State at Nevada. Boise State is favored by 21. Yeah, it's a traditional team. They're playing at Nevada, but yeah, Boise State. The Wolfpack has struggled. California at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech favored by only 4.5. I think Cal. Yeah. If you take Cal, you're getting 6.5 points. I take Cal. Northern Texas at Charlotte. Northern Texas favored by 25. I actually think that's low. I think they're going to win by a lot. Charlotte is going to struggle. South Alabama at Georgia State. South Alabama is favored by 5.5. Ooh, I'd probably take them, but that's a lot. I would feel very uneasy with that. Oh wait. These games are final. I'm sorry. No wonder why. Yeah, Boise State, Nevada. Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't watching the games on Thursday night. So those were or Friday night. Sorry, those are games that are already done. So I can't, I can't bet on those. Those are final. I hate when they do that. Like, don't show me the. I asked for the betting line. I don't need to see the scores. But they still have the betting line. It changed it up and looks different. So, all right, guys. So those are my picks for today. Hope you like them. I will be doing my live stream. These are going to go out together. So thank you. And you have a great day and come back later and we'll talk about if I was correct.